All right, we back for some awesome stuff today. Nice treats. Go ahead and like the video. It really, really does help me to get my content out. It helps the algorithm. So please just take a second right now and hit that like button. We're going to go ahead and get started. Um, I am always trying to build concepts around what can help us to come into wealth and what can prevent us from not being able to obtain the wealth that we're trying to reach. And I know a lot of people are really um, trying to build their wealth, especially at a time like now. You know, people are looking for financial freedom, and honestly, it's really simple. It's more simple than people think. Today, I want to talk about something very profound, and I search high and low trying to figure out, what are the philosophies and what is the wisdom behind being able to really move towards wealth building, and I figured it out. I figured it out, y'all. Because what you're gonna learn today, if you can't get this, I'm telling you, you're not wealth is gonna be less and less accessible to you. But if you can get what I'm gonna talk about today, I promise you, the sky is the limit. Let me know if you can hear me. Um, because I want to make sure my audio is good before I continue. I got some powerful stuff that I want to talk about. Hey, Kimberly, I see you today. Um, you are always so faithfully on here. Thank you for your support. Make sure you guys like this video right away. Share it, send it out to somebody who might need to hear it. You know what I'm going to talk about today. I promise you, we're about to do some deep inner work that's going to set us up for such success. It's going to be crazy. I promise you. I promise you. All right. I thank you for letting me know that you can hear me. All right. So guys, listen. Why do I want to talk about this? Why do I continue to talk about this? The reason why, let me just tell you right away, so you can understand why I'm excited to really bring you on this journey. And it's mainly because less than 3% of people are living the life that they truly want. Most people they're not thriving. Most people are really far from where they want to be. They're not driving the car they want. They're not living in the house they envision. Most people are feeling or are not feeling deeply aligned with their purpose and their future. Only less than 3% of people feel like this. And everybody else, listen, if you're not living the life you want, most people have a reason why. A reason why they waiting, why they delaying, why they hesitating, why they can't take action. And here's the thing. Their reasons can sound valid. Most people's reasons really do sound valid. It sounds like they got a good reason. It's logical. It's sometimes even responsible. But let me give you the root of it all. And this is what I want to talk about today that will prevent you from coming into wealth, right? Keep you broke. Keep you living like everybody else. At the root of all of this, I want you to know it is one word and one word only: indecision. And indecision is not a moment, it's a habit. I think people think when they're indecisive about something, it's just no, it's a habit. And it doesn't start in adulthood. It's formed in childhood. That's why this thing goes deep. It's reinforced often through school systems, embedded in cultural thinking, and it's spiritualized by fear. People are not stuck because of lack of opportunity. There is so much opportunity, you can't even figure them all out. They're everywhere. But people are stuck because they just haven't decided. Hit that like button. I want to get into this because I want to help you to understand yourself and your capacity, how you think, how you're wired. And it's going to be really good. All right. Hey, I see you. I see the New York is in the house. I'm a member of your husband's church in Harlem, New York. Yes. All right. NY, New York is in the house. Giving shouts out to you. Much love to you. I can't wait to get there, as a matter of fact. All right. Quick reminder before we really dive in. I'm telling you, this is going to be amazing. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. I'll be back on doing more content and to learn about wealth building. And I want to start and just say a quick reminder before y'all start, when we talk about investments, before y'all start selling your house and you're investing in your cousins or taking your cousin's college fund, to invest in some. This ain't financial advice. All right. I am just a person who has gotten severely educated, made some wild moves, and actually saw some results. This is for educational purposes only. You can lose everything you have when you invest. If you want to play it safe, listen, go talk to your licensed financial advisor. And as I always say, he's the one with the frame degree and the laminated pie chart. And he's sitting there waiting on you to come up with a solid 40-year plan to help you retire at 70 years old with a free tote bag and a smile. Amen. If you want a solid 50-year plan, go to your financial advisor. This is for educational purposes only. Let's start with a scripture. Hey, y'all. James 1:8. James 1:8 says, a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. Did it say some or did it say all, y'all? Can y'all put in the chat all? All. It's profound. I'm telling you. All his ways. Let me break that down. All right. Because we're talking about, this is important because we're not talking about unstable in a few ways. We're saying unstable in all thy ways. Okay. Right. It didn't say unstable only in finances or relationships. It says all. Okay. That means indecision spills over into every single area of your life, your faith, your money, your emotions, your relationships, your business, your habits, your confidence, even your sleep. Indecisiveness will filter over into all these areas. Why? The reason why is because your mind is the command center. John taught us this for years. So funny how things changed. Yes, I love it. Right. So your mind is the command center. And when your command center is divided, the rest of your life becomes really confused. That's why a lot of people are stuck. A lot of people are praying for clarity, but you can't receive clarity if you haven't made a choice. And I really want you to understand that indecision is a silent thief. Now, I'm going to answer, what is indecision? Let's answer that. What really is indecision? Indecision is fear dressed up in logic, is what it is. It's spiritual delay masked as I'm still discerning. It's the disguised killer of your momentum. It's the disguised killer of your creativity and your wealth. Yes, your wealth. And most people, they are deeply undecided. And here's the crazy part: the world moves out the way for the man or the woman who knows where they're going. I want you to know that the world will move out the way for the man and the woman who knows where they're going. People who live by definitive decisions, even if they don't know every step that they're going to take yet, they tend to rise. They gain traction. Doors open. Resources appear. Why is that? And the reason why is because decision is magnetic. It literally shifts your frequency. And I'm going to talk about that because y'all need to know about what your frequency does. And when you decide with conviction, the world recognizes that there's a leader at hand. Okay. Now, let me say this clearly. If your mind is undecided, your money will be too. Because wealth does not follow confusion. Wealth responds to clarity. And this is why a lot of people cannot attract money to them because of indecision. Now, I really want to go deep so y'all can understand the psychological makeup of a person who knows how to attract money to themselves, and a person who compel or not compel, but a person who pushes away. So we're contrasting between a person who compels money and a person who repels money. Okay. There's a solid line in the middle. Okay. And I want you to understand this. Okay. So we're going to go deep. Make sure you hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button and share this video with someone who needs to hear it, because we're going to go deep into your understanding of yourself, your psychology, and how you can attract money to you. I'm telling you, it works, y'all. Why does it work? Because you are energy, and energy moves with decision. Hear me out. We got to get something straight. You are not just a body. You are not just thoughts. You are energy. And I want to explain how that works in your life, right? Because the moment that you start to understand this, I'm talking about truly understand this, not surface level stuff, y'all. I'm telling you, you got to understand this. You're going to start to see why things have felt stuck for you for so long. If you're in a stuck place, if you haven't built momentum, you're going to understand why. Most people are trying to change their life without ever changing their frequency, right? They want new results while staying in this old, same mental channel. It doesn't work. They say stuff like, I want to be wealthy. I want to be healthy. I want to be free. I want to start a new business, but their thoughts are stuck on scarcity. Their emotions are stuck and anchored in fear. Their actions reflect doubt and resistance. And it's like you remember back in the day when you was trying to turn the radio on and it's in you hear all of the static and stuff that's going on and you trying to turn it to the right station. You kind of gotta keep changing that frequency till you hear clearly on the station that you're trying to hear. Until then, it's this static. And that's what happens when you're in the wrong frequency, is you will not hear anything beautiful until you adjust that frequency. Right now, here's what I want you to know. Frequency, when we use that word, it's just another word for the level of vibration you're operating in. Okay. Does that make sense? Right. Thank you. Somebody said, I love the shirt. Thank you. It's another level of vibration that you're in. Right. And your thinking is what determines your frequency. Okay. So hear me out because I want you to understand this. Your thoughts, they create a vibrational frequency. And that frequency is shaping your results every single day. So if you don't like the results that you're seeing now, you don't like your bank account, you don't like where your health is, you don't like where you're living, the situation you're in, the relationship you're in, the job you're on, it's not like, oh, I need to figure it out. I need to work hard. I need to hustle. It's not that. You need to elevate your thinking. I'm telling you, it starts with thinking. The quality of our thought life is going to determine the outcome of our situation. And you do this with, hear me out. Here's where we get real deep into this. Listen here. You got to understand this. It's a science to this. You do this elevation, this quality of thought. You do this with your higher faculties. Now, let me explain what that is. You do this with your inner abilities. You have inner powers. You have mental strengths. You have God-given faculties, a built-in divine intelligence inside of you. It is a higher faculty. You were designed to operate beyond just the physical senses. Hear me out. Most people are very limited. They have limited themselves to what they can see, what they can touch and hear and taste and smell. But that is only surface level living. You got to understand, God gave you higher faculties. They are non-physical. It's the non-physical side of you. And if you don't activate them, you're going to keep defaulting to what is already visible, which means you keep repeating the same cycles, right? There are several higher faculties that we have. Okay. Thank you. Somebody said, I love this. I'm at this point right now. Yes, a lot of people are at this point right now. Hit that like button for me. All right. Here are just a few higher faculties. One of them is your imagination. This is the power to see what doesn't exist yet. Man, amen. Man, the fact that we can imagine is just brilliant. That you have intuition, that's your inner compass, your spiritual guidance, it's intuition. And you can build that, you can strengthen that. You have reason, that's the ability to think critically and to reframe. You have perception. I'll talk a little bit about that. This is the lens you choose to view life through. You choose. Everybody is different, right? Don't matter what's happening in your life. What matters is your higher faculty of perception. You have memory. That's the ability to recall and reshape. You have your will. That's the power to focus, even if it's under pressure, y'all. These are sacred gifts. But most of society only teaches us to sharpen the servant. You know what the servant is? That's our rational mind. This is why I love the Einstein quote. It's so powerful. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten about the gift. When you only use logic to make decisions, you're always going to choose what's safe and you're not going to choose what's aligned. You got to use the higher faculties to align yourself. And most people don't know how to do that. Now, I want to talk about perception. Remember, this is one that I really want to talk about because it's a game changer. Now, if you ever wonder why do two people go through the same experience, but one person grows and the other person just crumbles? I mean, they crumble. And it is not luck. Oh, you lucky. No, it's perception. One person sees a closed door and the other sees redirection. One sees failure, the other sees feedback. If you change the way you look at something, what you look at will change. Do you hear me? When you change the way you look at something, what you look at changes. That's the outcome. This is why decision requires more than analysis. It requires vision, y'all. Vision. It requires alignment with a frequency higher than your current circumstance, right? Now, understand this because this part is critical. Decision is going to move you into a different frequency. That's what I don't think a lot of people understand. So let me tell you how it works. So until you make a committed, irrevocable decision, you remain stuck in the same energy loop. Okay. You're in the same energy loop, right? Your pastor just said this. Ah, yes. And I hope it adds like that God is watering whatever your pastor has planted in your heart, right? So when you make that decision, or until you make a decision that is against where you are now, and it has to be irrevocable, y'all, you're going to remain in the same energy. So think of it this way. Like if, somebody might say, okay, I want to buy a new house, right? And it's like, well, why haven't you bought the new house? Huh? Well, I don't have the money. You don't need money to buy a new house. You need a decision, right? Y'all didn't catch that. I think you got to understand this. If you want to start a business, you don't need the perfect time. Oh, I just need time. No, you need a decision. And I'm going to show you how this works. I'm telling y'all, waiting to see how it will work out before you decide is the mindset that keeps you in delay. Okay. Waiting to see how much money you gonna get before you decide keeps your mindset in delay, right? It's backwards. The GPS of life doesn't even speak until you start moving. If you get in a car and you're trying to go somewhere and you put that and here's where I want to go, you're not hearing anything until you move. You're not even going to hear anything. You don't know if you're going in the right direction, wrong direction. You're not going to get anything until you move. And when you're moving in the right direction, you listen. And it's like, okay, turn here, turn there. No, make a U-turn. You start getting the directions, not before, after the decision is made. Your breakthrough won't come outside of a decision. Yeah, and people are waiting for the perfect moment. Listen, here's what you have to realize this. As soon as your belief starts to match with your higher state, you fuse with it. And then life begins to shift around you after that. When you decide that you're stepping into a new frequency, I said decide, not when you get enough money, not when you get enough time, not when the perfect, positioning comes around. No, when you decide that you're stepping into a new frequency. So how many people are going to decide as we listen to this, right? When you decide I'm stepping into a new frequency of wealth, of health, of peace, of prosperity, you start after attracting the people, the resources, and the strategy to match it. You're not going to get the strategy before. Oh, give me the strategy so I can move. No, you make the decision and then God shows you the blueprint. Abraham didn't have no blueprint before then. He just a wandering off. He like, I'm going to see when we get there. When we get where am I going? He don't know. He just know he got to move. You got to move. You got to make a decision. But if you wait for all the conditions to be right before you decide, you're going to wait forever. It's going to be a forever waiting game. You're going to be forever waiting on something to happen when you don't realize the happening is in the decision to go, to do, to explore. Because indecision is its own frequency. So you got to understand that if you don't decide, then you're in the habit of indecision, right? And if you're in indecision, you're going to keep recycling the same low level results. It's going to keep happening. Trust me. Listen, Romans 12:2 says, when you are being transformed, because that's what we're trying to be, we're trying to transform into something different. You have to become transformed in what? The renewing of your mind, not by more money and a new paycheck, not by a new job, by the renewing of your mind. This is how you shift frequency. You don't shift frequency because you get more money. All right. This is what Jesus modeled. He did not operate on the world's level. Remember, higher faculties. He came from the higher place, a higher place, and everything bowed to his frequency, to that frequency, right? So the moment you make committed decisions, not a maybe, not a someday, not a well, we'll see if the Lord will, if he be it, if I get this, if no, a real soul level decision. When you make a decision, even if everything is not perfect, you activate something in the spirit realm. The unseen starts to arrange itself to meet the image that you've been chosen to carry. You don't understand that. And the sad thing is, first of all, I want you to understand why most people won't make a decision. Okay. I want you to understand this very clearly. Okay. I had to talk about this before I transition, right? Hit that like button for me, please. It does help the algorithm and it helps to get this video out to more people, right? So again, if 3% of people are living, or a little less than 3% of people are living the life they want, then let's talk about the 97% of people, because that's where most people are. Why they never move, why they never make a decision, why most people never build wealth, why they stay in survival, why they repeat the same thing year after year after year. I don't think it has anything to do with how smart they are, for sure. Okay. But it is because they have been conditioned to wait. Indecision is a habit. Remember, it's not a moment, it's a habit. And guess where it starts? It starts in childhood. You were told what to do, where to go, what to believe. So by the time you reach adulthood, you developed a pattern of deferring your own power that God has given you within you. You wait for someone to tell you what to do. You wait for that validation when God has already given it to you. You look for signs. You overthink. You ask 12 people what you think about this. And then here's the part. You still do nothing. You still do nothing. When I quoted the scripture, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Well, why? What makes him double-minded? You know, what makes him double-minded is he gets open to things. He gets aware of things and still go back to old decisions. It's better for you to not even get exposed than to get exposed to the fact that you have the capacity to build something great, to build a future, to build something that you can pass on to your lineage. When you get exposed to that and you go back, that's double mindedness. You're exposed, your mind has come over here for a moment, but you bounce back. And then there's another awakening, and then you bounce back. And then you get another confirmation, and then you bounce back. Listen, if you ever felt like your life was stuck, chaotic, unsteady, filled with all kind of uncertainty, it traces back to this: a man and a mind that has not learned to decide. It traces back to an undecided person. You do not need 50 million people to confirm what you know you should be doing. This is learned behavior, you guys. It's learned in education, where we're taught memory, not vision. Okay. Because be real, like our school systems, they teach people to memorize facts, not to decide with conviction. You go through 12 years of school, then college, but never once are you taught how to form a vision, how to trust so many adults because they have been trained to follow instructions and not to lead themselves. It's just that simple. And this is so dangerous because when you don't decide, guess what? The world decides for you. The world is deciding for you, and you got to stop that because you're not in control if this is the case. And this is why so many people stay stuck. I'm waiting till I have this. I'm waiting for more money. I need a confirmation, a sign, and a wonder. I'm not sure. Is it the right time? What if it don't work? They're trying to use logic to solve a spiritual decision. Let me say this. You cannot use logic to solve a frequency problem, y'all. You can't. You cannot use logic to solve a spiritual decision. This is why indecision keeps you poor, not just financially, but mentally and spiritually. It keeps you in jobs you hate, in relationships that drain you, in cycles that God never called you to, because you're waiting to feel safe before you move. But safety does not come before the decision, it comes after. There's a real inner conflict because when you can't make a decision, it's really a sign of internal war. You're holding on to two images at once: who you believe you're meant to be, who you believe the other side of it is who you've always been told you are, I would say. Those are the two conflicts. And you're afraid that if you choose the higher version, that the lower version of you will fall apart. And that comes with that. I know that may sound like, oh, that ain't no, you're scared that you're gonna lose relationships, you're gonna be misunderstood. What if you fail? Yeah, that's that lower version falling apart. You're gonna lose relationships, y'all. You got to be okay with that. And if you're not okay with that, that's what makes you hesitate. That's what makes you delay. That's what makes you stay familiar, even if it's not fruitful, right? The cost of indecision is far greater than the cost of making the wrong one, y'all. Let me say that again. Hit the like button. The cost of indecision is far greater than the cost of making the wrong one. At least when you move, you learn. When you stay stuck, you lose time, you lose momentum, and guess what? You will lose identity. I promise you. And what happens when you finally decide, well, let me tell you as I close, when you finally make decisions that you know you're supposed to be making, okay? Even if it's small little steps, this ain't got to be nothing big, y'all. I'm not talking about like huge decisions, just one step forward. Like when you start walking, one step forward. I'm gonna at least make one step forward, right? And then I'll make the other step. And maybe I might fall and then I'm gonna get back up and then I'm gonna take another step, just like babies do, right? And then somewhere, even though the babies can have faith and start walking and falling and getting back up and all of that, like somewhere we lose that momentum. But when you finally decide and you make a real decision, when you say, I am no longer living at this level, and put that in the chat. I am no longer living at this level. I am no longer living at this level. Sometimes you just got to like tell yourself that and just live up to it. What happens is when you tell yourself that and you start speaking that, your spirit begins to recalibrate. There's a recalibration coming for you guys. It is. And what happens is your energy changes. Listen, your speech change. Your posture changes, your standards start to change. You no longer start asking, can I do this? You ask, who do I need to become to carry this? And everything, I mean, every single thing will start to shift for you, right? You don't receive wisdom and wealth without a decision. You need decision. The wisdom will come, the wealth will come. You'll see the energy, the posture, the speech, the standards. Life will start to respond back to you. You got to train yourself to decide. You got to decide to become a different version of yourself. You got to decide to stop tolerating what drains you. There's some things draining you that you don't need to tolerate anymore. You need to decide to no longer be the broke one, the sick one, the almost made it one, the almost one. You know, we don't want to be the almost did it. You know, you somewhere telling somebody, have y'all ever heard two older people talking about what they woulda, coulda, shoulda did? It sounds depressing, right? Like, I was going, but I had did that. It's like, oh man, this is draining. You got to decide to carry wealth and legacy. You got to decide that. You got to decide to finish what God started in you. How about that? You got to decide life or death, right? And here's the key. You don't need to be ready. You just need to be willing. That's it. You were made to go. The moment you decide, like I'm talking about really decide, the atmosphere will shift for you, not because of some magical thing. No, but because heaven will respond to faith in motion. Now, listen, hit that like button. And if this resonated with you, if something inside of you is waking up right now, don't sit with it. Make decisions. Not tomorrow, not next month. I'm talking about right now. Decide to shift your environment. Decide to elevate your habits. Do things that you said you was going. I said I was going to write this, but I said I was going to start this business. I said I was going to start investigating how to get this property that I need, whatever it is. I said I was going to start investing in the stock market and learning how to invest. I thought I was going, the other week I was talking to somebody about doing this, starting a daycare. I would start it. Whatever that looks like, whatever that one little step is, do it, right? Do it and do it quickly, because when you're inspired to do something, the momentum is for you. Now, if you do need a next step, and you do want to be guided in wealth, in health, in wholeness that's been waiting for you. And if you are ready to take that next step, and you want to be guided and challenged and supported, you know, by a coach who actually walks this out, join us in the 90-day health and wealth challenge. The link is in the description. It's not just information, it's transformation. It's real structure. It's real results. It's real accountability. You're going to build your investment portfolio. You'll break generational patterns. You'll take control of your health, and you'll do it with a community that will not let you shrink back. I'm telling you what I know, right? So I wanted to share this. Please do hit that subscribe button. I'll be back on to do some more content. I see the comments and the speeches in the that you guys said. I am no longer living at this level. I love it. Speak that to yourself. Continue. God came to give you life. Okay, I think I know what you said. Trying to say, I'm making a decision now. Yes, I love to see that. Again, share this video with somebody who like it. Check out the links in the description. Make sure that you check out our breakbigbarriers.com. Again, the link is in the description. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and share this. And oh, by the way, if you have anything that you would like me to share, as far as content, I'm always looking at the comments. Please share in the comments, because people are looking at those comments too, and they really do someday. Okay. And it doesn't have to start someday. It starts the moment you decide. Make a decision. I'll see you guys next time.